Ladies and gentlemen, on time as usual. This is the NFT show. In this show, we discuss all things NFT market. We do the show Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm Pio here with my co-hosts Nifty, Nick, and Kix. As always, nothing in this show is financial advice. We are not financial advisors. The NFT space is incredibly risky, so always do your own research. And as always, if you enjoy the content, hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, and share it with your friends. All of our content is sponsored by FTX. You can sign up at thenifty.com/FTX or with the code THENIFTY on your FTX mobile app. We're doing a weekly recap here. 3 of the main events that happened this week in the NFT space: Kevin Rose's Grails II, the announcement surrounding the Y00ts drop in the Solana ecosystem, specifically the DeGods ecosystem, and last but not least, the BendDAO debacle that turned out to not be as serious as a lot of people were worried about. Gentlemen, happy Friday.
Dude, happy Friday.
Good Friday.
All righty. Diving into Y00ts. Y00ts, for people that don't know, and maybe we can pull up Y00ts on our screen, like the main page, so that we can take a look at it. Y00ts is basically the most hyped up drop that's happening on Solana. It is in the DeGods ecosystem. People are incredibly excited about this project, and they're rolling out a very innovative allow list that's building a lot of hype. It's the Y00t list, where they basically accepted applications for people to get on the Y00t list. For example, me and Nick both applied and were able to get on. And the way
some bosses.
There you go. And the way they did their announcement of who got on the Y00t list, it kind of incentivized people to retweet it, to engage with the tweets, and in turn, it really built up the Y00ts social media presence. So very smart marketing approach by Y00ts. As you can tell, the art is, I would say, Bored Ape Yacht Club inspired, OK Bear inspired, but really refined, like just really polished, really well done.
They nailed the fur. They really nailed the fur.
I agree. They nailed the fur.
You can come here, apply in 45 seconds, connect your Soul wallet. Okay, I'm not going through that whole process.
Yeah, so I'm going to put in my application tonight. Really getting it in on the wire here. I was worried because my child put a screwdriver through my computer where my Solana wallet is attached to. And so I thought that I would have to, if you attach your Solana wallet and it had more good activity on it, would help your chances. But I guess that doesn't make a big difference. So I don't have to worry about getting that fixed. So I'm just going to slide in my application here at the wire. We'll see if I get in. It's great. If not, I hope there's a little pre-reveal because, I'd love to maybe gamble on some rares here. But, I really think they nailed the fur. That's why this is beautiful.
When you say
it's almost like 3D, What's up?
When you say gamble on some rares, you're referring to minting one and hoping you get a rare?
Yeah, like that gold crown.
I'll probably end up getting one of the most rare when I mint.
I think you will. 100%.
Are you guys going to go for it on the secondary too? Like as soon as it comes out on the secondary, you're going to ape on the secondary?
Am I going to Y00t?
You're going to Y00t on the secondary?
It really depends, man, because if you think about a lot of projects that come out with their secondary collection, and I'm open to being wrong on this if there's other examples, a lot of times you get a lot of pump for a couple of 48 hours. You can very easily get caught in a pump and then the price kind of normalizes out. But every situation is different, right? But I mean, there's a lot of hype around it. I just feel like if it was in a bull market, I'd be I'll get in there for I'll buy them right on secondary for a 2x or something like that. But
you're worried about an other deed situation where the first night where there's an unholy pump is actually the top.
Yeah. Yeah, we're max euphoria is the people getting in. Milk, thank you so much for that. I will gamble that away in your name. And I will shout milk at the top of my lungs if I hit the jackpot. That may get me into trouble. I may get kicked out, but it'll be worth it. And someone did ask if I showered. I got a shower in today after the gym. Feeling great.
Easy is going to put together some stuff to help people learn about the Y00t mint is my expectation. But the general thesis is in order to get approved is one thing, and then what you need once you are approved. And what you need is some of that Ute token, as they call it.
Give me the Ute. Give me the Ute.
Yeah. So what's the name of the token?
Dust.
So you need to buy dust. In order to get that dust, you end up, Easy gave me a link for this, and I will pull it up right
let's see
now.
where that dust is at right now. 227.
So
off the high.
HelloMoon.io, you can come in here and swap some of that cold hard cash. So what I did this morning was I bought this at $3, and I'm really happy about that. That was like a good purchase.
Did you buy it at $3?
Mistake.
Because literally I text Easy, I say, should I be buying this right now? And he was like, I think it's going to go to $4. Immediately drops the moment that I buy.
But
he sold at 3 too. If you want to add a little salt to that wounds, he sold at 3, then he bought back at 2. So he played you like a fiddle, dude. There's 30,000 holders.
It dropped as low as $2. I mean, this would have been a huge man. I would have picked this up way lower. This is complete nonsense.
Do you know what the market cap of this is? Like, what's the circulating supply? Anyone in the chat know?
I would be curious to know what Nick thinks of that chart. Obviously, you see a bunch of green candles running up right up until where Nick bought, and then you see that
I like your analysis, Nick, because what happened was it was win, win, win no matter what. Then you bought, and that's the exact moment that it tanked by 30%. So can you walk us through, like, what do you think of that chart?
It also didn't time up too well with Jerome Powell just going bear maxi on the whole market.
Yeah, that was an interesting decision.
That was strong language, huh?
ETH is down 10%. You know, you can't be surprised that something more speculative like dust is maybe down more than that.
That was like
26 million circulating supply. Okay.
So now who's the economist that said how many?
26 million.
26 million.
So 60 million market cap.
Okay.
$60 million market cap.
You needed a calculator for that? So
I did. I did.
I would have.
2 times 20 million?
$22.31 times 26 million.
Yeah, 26. Sorry. Yeah. My apologies. Okay, that's fair. That's
sorry, Mr. Calculus.
Watch out for Nick here. Nick, please take it away. Here, full screen. We just want to bask in your math presence.
Sorry,
man.
I didn't use the differential equation. My bad.
I don't know. Whatever number Kix said, at 46 million. I didn't do the math actually.
60 mil. So 60 mil market cap. Yeah, and apparently there'll be a dust announcement after the mint. Yeah, I think this is going to be probably pretty similar to ApeCoin, right? Where like, you get the pump into the like news event, and then it starts to trend down. But that may be why they're trying to lay out the utility case for dust after the fact.
The utility. Oh, Nick, no wonder you're on the Ute list with just great one-liners like that. I mean, obviously, like there had to be first they were talking about the Utes, like you think of the youth, and I think he mentioned that, but then you could be utility, could be another way of saying it. That is a key word that I had not included in a document that we did. I'm now going to need to add that, so thank you for that.
Utility. Node donated $2 and said this is an advertisement to Node Mode. Node, if you're gonna give me $2, just Venmo it to me in the future because Google takes half of that. So just tell me.
Or just send me 100. Okay, so that would be, and then I'll say literally anything that you want if you Venmo it to me. Okay.
Oh, it's like a cameo. Enough about Utes. We're all excited about Utes.
People are gonna start doing $10 and be like, "Say this racial slur, Nick."
I said 100, didn't I? No, I said 100. 10.
Yeah, it's a bear market, man. You're at 10.
Classic.
Yeah, so these will be minting.
That's where Pia's mind went.
Oh yeah, totally. These will be minting in 1 week, Friday, September 2nd.
Friday, September 2nd. So we got a lot of time before this Ute extravaganza. Let's call the top on the token going into it. What's the top? Call it.
Call the top of the token. Give me an arbitrary number.
Give me an arbitrary number. Let's go.
All right, Chief. We're going with $5.
I'm gonna call it 450. I'm undercutting you.
Okay, 449.
I'm gonna say it already topped.
Oh, already topped. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. ApeCoin topped at $32.
And when did it top before the mint?
I think it topped the night of, or within 24 hours of the mint, but I could be wrong about that.
Okay.
Milk,
Then I
I'll
may be
take
wrong
you up on
my
that
guess.
offer. We got someone in the comments making an offer for things for me to say, and I will go ham on it if that's really what you're asking. You can do that. You can tip that through YouTube. I'll just pass it straight through to the business, and there we go. You don't even need to Venmo it.
I'm gonna be looking at the books, and Nick just gave himself an arbitrary $100 bonus. I'm like, what the hell is this random ass bonus that you gave when we haven't given ourselves bonuses yet? And he's like, that was for saying capitulation.
Why did you went and did the action they were requesting, and they didn't give you any money, and that's what you got? You know, that was.
Anthony wants to tip to pull out the pump. Nah, you'd need a big tip for
We
that.
did talk
Anthony.
about the pump before we came on air.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you can't just be pulling out the pump willy-nilly. If you pull the pump out, there's got to be something that's pumping. You got to respect the pump. As
Yeah,
we
you
all
have, to
know.
respect the pump,
you have to
baby.
respect it.
Respect
so
it.
That's an issue that a lot of people don't. Is they
I'm
don't
jacked
respect
up
it.
right
so
now. What
I'm
are we
not
talking
doing
about next?
it. Okay.
What we're talking about
go on to
next,
the next
Kix is
subject.
jacked up. We're going to talk about a little bit of BendDAO. You know, hey, bend over. BendDAO time, okay? So what are we talking about with BendDAO? People thought that the floor price of Bored Apes was going to get bent over, if you know what I mean, right? And it turns out that BendDAO was a whole lot of bent baloney, you know? Like, what are we even talking about here, okay? Like, why you wasting my time, okay? Get out of my face.
Okay. Okay. We got.
Hey, Nick, baseball bat to my nuts, okay? It's like, I mean, look, hey, I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but you're killing me, Nick. Oh, my God, baseball bat to my nutsack, okay?
That was a podcast we went on the other day, and I was talking about how I really don't think that this market has fully capitulated at this point. And literally, the guy on the podcast was like, "Nick, what are you doing to me?
Oh my God.
I'm from Brooklyn."
He literally said he opened up with us and he just goes, I'm from Brooklyn. I don't know if you can tell. Imagine if I'm like, are you serious? Like, okay. Sorry.
Anyways,
All right. So my take on the whole situation.
baseball bat to your nuts. Go ahead.
Yeah, photo cannon to the you know what. My thesis on this whole thing is like, first of all, I don't think that prices pumped because of the BendDAO liquidations not happening, because the entire market pumped. BendDAO only represents certain projects, right? Like it only represents Doodle, Suzuki, Mutants, Crypto, like Clonix. There's only a few projects in that basket, right? And a lot of those ones weren't even up for liquidation. Like I don't think much Azukis were up for liquidation. It was really like Bored Ape and Mutants. All of these things pumped. Moonbird's pumped from like 11 to 15. I think the whole market pumped. I don't think it pumped or dumped due to the BendDAO situation. I also think that BendDAO was actually set up as a proper liquidation loaning mechanism.
Okay.
Right? It would have put some downward pressure on these projects. The fact of the matter, though, is that they don't liquidate assets even if the debt goes bad. Like that's not like if your debt goes bad with the bank, they come and take your house
Like immediately, like
that's
as soon as they can.
They'll come repo your car. Like the standard across the world in DeFi, you get liquidated instantly.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
They send the repo man to legally steal your car. He legally steals your car.
Well, that's in an extreme situations, but yeah,
I know people that's happened to.
they'll take a baseball bat to the nuts.
And
Basically,
what
what
Irish
they'll do.
said, what Irish said is interesting. I heard there was floor price manipulation on Bored Ape Yacht Club trying to get BendDAO liquidations potentially, but Mutants also dipped at that same time. Other projects also dipped at the same time. My point being is I think that the market just moved how the market moved, and I don't think that this had a crazy amount of like significance. Although they did say that they're talking about moving their health factor up to like 1.35. But at the end of the day, if BendDAO's policy is that if people don't buy, they're not going to liquidate, then it's not an issue. You know what I mean? And once again, even if this was an issue, even if these things came on the market, it was still just going to be like a 10, 15%. It wasn't going to be like the end of Bored Apes. It's not like Bored Apes are going to go negative 50% or anything crazy like that. Like it would have been a little bit of turbulence. So I don't think the BendDAO like situation was going to be crazy, is going to be crazy if it still resolves. I just think it's, a very interesting situation because there is actually no true liquidation on there.
This site is confusing as hell. So if I borrow ETH, I have to pay a negative interest rate in order to borrow that. So I guess I'm just paying a fee to borrow, which is interesting to me.
You're actually getting money back.
But if I deposit ETH, I don't. If you borrow at yes, that would be correct. Yep.
So you go borrow right now 100 grand, you should get 3.86 grand back, right?
That seems so weird. I guess basically that.
Should we actively exploit this live on air? I'm just kidding.
The deposit APR is 10% if you have it here, but then when you go down here, the deposit APR is 7%. So I don't understand what the distinction is between these two numbers. There's a lot of numbers on this screen, so I'm a little confused.
The BEND token.
And then there's the BEND reward APR, which I guess is
the BEND token.
So if I'm lending money, so if I'm lending ETH against Bored Ape Yacht Club, I'll receive reward APR like DeFi, where you get rewarded in the native token.
Yeah.
What's the value of the BEND token? I mean, who gives a shit?
Yeah, I mean,
really, are we actually going to do it? Like, none of us. We're like, hi, this seems like a fascinating investment opportunity. The only thing that is semi-interesting is the fact if like you have long-term ETH that you want to lock up and you want to like yield it, this is an interesting way to do it.
But what's interesting is like the reserves, right? They say that there's 33,000 in liquidity, which means that they must have gotten a lot more ETH coming in. Because I remember at one point it got drained, right?
Yeah, now
so it went, and now it's like back in a big way. I mean, that's a significant amount of ETH locked. But what's interesting is under the collections, look at the available to borrow. It's like if you wanted to lend your Bored Ape, you could get 36. No, I guess that makes sense at current prices. Yeah, never mind.
So.
But yeah, I don't think it's a crazy deal either way, like what happens with this stuff. But I don't think like a lot of people were like, oh, the BendDAO is a non-news, and that's like why Bored Ape Yacht Club pumped, right? But that doesn't explain like the entire price action we saw across the market. Like everything moved up pretty significantly. So I think what we just saw like a relief rally, which is great.
You could trade this and get absolutely wrecked if you were super interested in that, where you could basically borrow against your asset. If you want to short ETH right now, just take that ETH, convert it into USDC, and then pay back the loan at a discount.
What if BendDAO just put all of the apes into SudoSwap and just made a big liquidity pool?
I don't know. All I know.
Oh wait, because then they couldn't get it back. Never mind.
Yeah, that sounds.
Yeah, you're only going to see more and more of these, Web3 lenders, basically.
Sorry. What if they took the deposited apes and just stole them?
but they could actually do it with the liquidated apes.
Okay.
Because then it's technically the control of BendDAO.
Wow. Anyways, that
doesn't work out with non-fungible tokens so much.
What if I just took the ETH that they deposited and said, fuck yourself? And I just took it and then I ran off with that money.
It happens.
Would you ever use BEND? Like, would you ever borrow against your ape?
Well,
in the future.
It looks kind of interesting, to be completely honest. Like, I'm looking at this saying, I see some interesting potential here.
Yeah, in the future for sure. Once there's stabilization of price on these assets over years instead of just months, you'll definitely be borrowing off of the stuff like the blue chip stuff, and then maybe not to buy more NFTs, but maybe to buy an investment property. You know what I mean?
I actually think there's also a more convoluted play. I lend this asset basically. I get the ETH. I take the ETH and I convert it into stable coins or whatever. If I think the price is going down, I convert it into USDC.
You can short your own stock.
I get an option out on ETH to sort of offset the risk here. But now basically the whole position play is just the cost to my option but I have no risk exposure essentially, and I can let that option inevitably expire if the position is going right. If it's going against me, well, then you can exercise the option and move. Now, the problem is it's a risky thing, and I don't know how to get into the option side, but I think DYDX lets you get creative with that sort of thing.
There's actually a new thing coming out. I saw Kay Dean talking about it. There's a protocol coming out where you can make option bets on NFT projects without even owning the underlying assets. You can literally buy an option on like punks going above X floor by Y date.
Who's providing the liquidity for that?
Great question.
Also, on a fractional basis, how do you do that? Because ultimately, options are back to actual assets. So, like,
it's probably like the binary options scams.
Actually, that's not even true. Options, they settle you in cash, in the cash difference. That's the whole point of that system. So you can exercise the right to buy, but what they'll instead do is they'll just go buy off the market your stocks to deliver to you, and then just settle the cash difference basically of your options. So that's my guess, is basically you have the options against the floor. I actually can see, so I can see that happening. It doesn't matter. You just need enough. The answer is who's providing it. It doesn't matter. You just need margin in order to trade those options if you're doing it in a decentralized way. In the same way that you have loan to value situations with loans, it's the exact same thing with options, which is you're going to have to put up some sort of margin in order to make those trades, basically. But you get leveraged gains, which is the upside of it. Anyways, we're going down a rabbit hole with it.
Irish said short all projects you can't lose, which is a funny take and probably pretty true. Crypto for NFT, the absolute legend, also said Franklin said he borrows against his ape from time to time. Franklin was telling us that he borrows against his ape like on a regular basis, and it sounds like he's pretty into like high risk stuff for sure. So yeah, I mean, damn, crazy stuff. On the last story, was there something else you guys wanted to cover on this?
On the last story.
On to the last story, which is Grails 2 by Proof Collective. Old Kevin Rose pulling out all the stops on Grails 2. He did a good job, ladies and gentlemen.
Man, this guy's a little bit connected.
Nick, you might want to pull up Grails 2.
How do I load Grails 2? On OpenSea?
No,
yeah.
I thought it was only on the site. I think you just Google it. Type in Grails 2 Proof. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Right there, baby. So very, very cool mechanic that they did where they showed you all the art. They didn't tell you who was making the art. Some were more obvious than weren't. That one, if you scroll up a little bit, Nick, some of the more obvious ones, in my opinion, in the middle second row, very obviously Rafiq Anadol. Obviously, if you know Rafiq Anadol's work. Top left, not the top left, but the one to the right of it, very obviously Grant Yun.
Easily could have told that.
I agree.
Obviously, Grant Yun.
Yeah, and then the internet sleuths dug out right below that Rafiq Anadol. They dug out that picture, that photograph was something that Drift posted years ago on his Instagram. So the sleuths knew that was a Drift piece. The number one piece in the collection thus far, 24, 48 hours after reveal, is actually number 14, which is by an investor in the Nifty, Mr. Snowfro. So no one knew that was Snowfro. It's 50 people minted it, and it shot up to a 23 Ethereum floor. So
and last sale on that's 25 ETH.
Damn.
And keep scrolling through them because there's a bigger one.
A bigger one. What's the biggest one?
I'll when I see it, I'll see it. Hold
on. Where am I going?
On the Grails 2 website.
Oh, sorry. You said there's bigger sales?
Scroll down. Yeah. I wanted. Wait, where is it? Oh, maybe. Okay, this is
the Grails 1 Kix.
Yeah. It was Grails 1.
Okay, and what was the biggest one in Grails 1?
Protoglyphs. So I think that was the guys that made the autoglyph, maybe.
The Larva Labs guys.
Yeah. And that the highest of one of that went for 80.
Damn.
But yeah, so there was multiple sales for the Snowfro piece. There's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sales over 20 ETH for that.
Kevin Rose, man, just when people like Popcan from our Discord were basically dancing on Kevin Rose's grave, saying Kevin Rose can't do anything. I'm Popcan. I don't think that what he's doing is the right thing. I'm kidding. Popcan has been basically like a proof permabull. But a lot of people were trying to throw shade at Kevin Rose, basically saying that the CCO move was him giving up, which
It's a disaster.
I just don't think that that's him giving up. And he comes out with this. He nailed it. And he put out a video that was very high production. Me and Nick were watching it earlier. It's almost like they've raised a little bit of money and they can actually deploy capital into doing some cool stuff. Pretty crazy stuff for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. They're doing good stuff.
How did this get structured? Did they basically pay the artists? This isn't a normal Alpha Centauri kid. He usually does other stuff, but this is interesting.
Because the artist wanted to, get you off of their trail, to make it fun. Like some artists like Rafiq Anadol were like, I'm going to do something. Everyone's going to know it's Rafiq Anadol. But other people wanted to switch the style up. Like the top left is Tom Sachs. That photograph is Tom Sachs. So, yeah.
I'm sort of wondering though, did they go and pay, did Proof just go and pay the artists to do this?
Yeah, that's what I think. That's
okay.
what I think. If I had to make a bet, I think Node's in the same boat. These are just commissioned works by the artist with the understanding that it's unclear what the supply will be, because it's up to there's like a little bit of a game theory there, as we like to say in the NFT space, where whatever ones the holders decide are the most popular end up having the highest supply. But I think that he probably, lines the artist's pockets in a way that, makes them just feel like, yeah, this is worth this is worth it. And maybe the secondary fees go to the artist. That could be a thing too.
Definitely lines their pockets in a way that makes them feel like they just got rich.
Yeah, man.
I like that. Well, there you go.
Any closing thoughts on this? Because I know we got a hard stop at 5. Any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I just think it's cool. Great to see the whole ecosystem continuing to do interesting stuff, and love the support for great artists. That Dmitry Cherniak was another rare one.
Yeah.
That sold pretty well. But yeah, Kevin Rose doing his thing.
Kevin Rose doing his thing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. Shout out to our sponsor, FTX. You can sign up at thenifty.com/FTX or with the code THENIFTY on your FTX mobile app. We do this show, the NFT show, on YouTube Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at around 4 p.m. You guys were giving us a lot of shade for being late, but we'll work on that. Have a good weekend. Check out all of our content. Subscribe, hit the like, share it with your friends. We're not going anywhere. We will catch you guys next time.